First of all, they said he ran me over. I was like, how could he have ran me over when I was diving on this guy, from getting on, diving on him from the back? How could he have ran me over? But he did drag me a little bit.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. I'm Peanut Tillman, and with me as always, I got my guy Roman Harper. Oh, I like that shirt, man.
Thanks, Peanut.
I'm feeling the Mr. Rogers vibe right now. You got a Mr. Rogers vibe thing. You got the foot, the leg across.
It's called a cardigan, and yes, it is something like that. So I appreciate that. I'm really excited for this guest. I've never really got to sit down. I've only got to admire this guy's career from afar. Never really got to sit down, spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
Very envious of a lot of things he's been able to accomplish. Really, really proud of everything he's got done. And it's 3 DBs out here, baby. So
yes,
when it's 3 DBs together, it's going to be a good one. So, Peanut, introduce who we have.
Played 13 seasons in the NFL, the number 5th pick overall in the 2011 draft. Went to LSU, Pro Bowl for his first 8 seasons, 3-time All-Pro. 2010 all-decade team. Now he does a lot of stuff. He's an analyst, he's a radio host, and he hosts a couple of different podcasts.
He's also an avid golfer.
And he's an avid golfer. I don't know if he's a good golfer, but he's an avid golfer. Right? That's a whole nother story.
The only way to be good is you got to be avid about it.
You got to be out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Patrick Peterson to the pod.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it, man.
The golf game. Let's talk about the golf real quick. Everyone we get, every person we get on the show, y'all have this conversation. I can do the first 8 holes of golf, maybe 9, and I get bored, and I'm done. I like the speed golf. We played speed golf in LA, and it was great. So I don't know what hotel we stayed at. We had the hotel with the golf course in the back. It's just too slow. It's boring.
Man, I love golf. Man, it's just, for me, it just puts me in a different place.
Yeah.
It's almost like football. Like the outside world it doesn't matter to me anymore for those 4 hours. Now I know that for these 4 hours, I'm gonna be with some good guys, we're gonna have great conversation, and nothing else matters but trying to play good golf, obviously, but also amend some different friendships that I may not even thought about having.
And Pat, you can probably talk about this too. It's like, it's something to be said about not mastering a craft. Like you just, every day you're working at it, and it's always something that you can improve on.
Right.
I don't think we all get that in every day in life, where it's still something like to be yet to scratch, or I got to get after just a little bit more. It's always something. And even your best shot's not even the best shot.
Right.
Still something to be worked upon. So that's what I love about golf. I'm addicted to it. I got to be honest. I'm an avid golfer as well. I'm trying to be like you.
What's your handicap?
Man, I'm probably a 16, 17.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, how long you been playing for?
Not long enough.
Gotcha.
You know
What's my handicap?
I mean, you're in the 20s.
So you want to be a low handicap?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a 5.
Oh.
So he's like, he's right there.
Crushing it.
Yeah. Like for me, I just want to be in the mid 80s. By the time I start back football season again.
Gotcha.
So I want to continue to work on that. But that's going to be, I gotta place my tee shots, gotta be improved, so I got a chance to score more.
So when you practice, do you practice more on the range or you go out on the course?
On the range.
Bad place.
I agree. The range don't tell you everything.
Bad place.
Because you gotta get comfortable seeing the shot and hitting the shot.
And not only that, the range is level, it's flat. You got to go out there and practice the actual shots you're going to be hitting on the course.
Very
so like
true.
for me, I don't practice on the range at all. Like if I go play, I'm gonna play by myself, maybe get like 3 or 4 balls and just hit them and just continue working on different shots.
Guys, this is a football podcast.
It's always the dreaded get back to football, right, guys? The dreaded get back to football.
Let's talk about some DBs.
All right, let's do it.
Bring it back.
So
bring it back.
You want to start this one?
I do not want to start it. I want you to talk about football.
And I'll come on the offense on this.
Okay.
So, Pat, and you, I will give you credit. I think you're probably one of the guys that started this. LSU is DBU.
Mm-hmm.
I would debate that you're wrong on that.
Okay.
I think Alabama, by far, is way more DBU than LSU is.
Why would you say
and
that?
I would assume Ohio State has something to say about that, too. But to me, those are the three best ones, and I think LSU's at the bottom of that category.
Wow.
Damn.
The bottom?
Yes.
How many Jim Thorpe Alabama got?
Yeah. I don't go off of just Thorpe Awards.
So what you going off of?
I'm just going off of production and guys in the league.
You got some stats to back that up?
I mean, I got definitely do. I didn't know if you want to do it. Do you want to defend yourself first, or you want me to just start spitting?
And you can go. You brought it up, so I want to hear.
Okay, all right. Well,
Spit away, my dipper friend.
Well, Pat Peterson.
Yep.
All right, 2011 first round draft pick. Let's just go off a first round draft pick.
First round.
First
let's
round.
do it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we don't have. We have 3 first rounders.
Well, no, you got more than that. You got Mo Claiborne, 2012. Eric Reed, I give him credit, 2013. Jamal Adams and Tre'Davious White, 2017. And the last one, 2022, Derek Stingley.
And you Grant Delpit.
Second round.
Grant went second?
Yes, he did.
Damn, I thought
It's
he
okay.
went first.
Bad senior year. Should have left junior year.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. I was ready.
I was with this finger in the air.
We in church, like, you know.
Yeah.
So we can start as recently as 2024 for Alabama. Terrion Arnold. I won't count Kool-Aid McKinstry, who's a second round pick. Pat Surtain, the highest paid DB.
Yeah. And up for the defensive player of the
There it
year.
is. All right. Yep.
Yeah.
Baller.
2021, Minka Fitzpatrick. 2018, Marlon Humphrey, another first round pick. Shout out Alabama. He's from Alabama. Marlon Humphrey, 2017. Landon Collins from Louisiana, right here in the city of New Orleans. 2015, HaHa Clinton Dix, Florida Cat. 2014, Mark
He was
Barron.
ready.
2012, Dre Kirkpatrick, both from the state of Alabama, 2012 as well. And I'm not even going about Trayvon Diggs and Xavier McKinney, who was another Pro Bowler by the Green Bay Packers, because they were both second-round picks. But I'm just saying DBU is probably the University of Alabama.
High tide. No high tide? Go Elephants.
Nobody says that, dude.
Yeah.
Go
And
Elephants.
I'm definitely not saying nothing about no dang on tie. So
You can say go Elephants. You can say that. Go Elephants.
that's still giving them a reference. So, but I mean, Rome, you put together a list. You definitely was ready to claim the throne, I guess. But you talking about the first round of guys, and you're asking me a question: who is the real DBU? I'm gonna go off of just what the guys did in college and the awards that we won in college. Minka was the third player in college history to win the Jim Thorpe and the Bednarik. I was the second. Tyron, he won major awards. He was a Heisman finalist.
And if he would have finished, I think that was another thing too. His whole career kind of got shook up that last year.
But I will say you guys have had more first rounders than us. But I feel like the guys in college, we had more production.
I can't deny that. I think between you and Tyron and wearing the number 7, I think it's something special about that as well. And maybe you can go into that too. Like, does your swag automatically go up when you put on the number 7 jersey at LSU?
No doubt about it, because
More confidence.
Yeah, more confidence. And you have to think about it. A DB, you never really saw a number 7 on a DB before. Like, that's always been an offense position or a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, and when I had the opportunity to rock the number, finally Les Miles giving me the opportunity to, catch some punt returns and, take them back to the house, it was just something like people saw an aura about the number 7. It was almost like if you had the number 7, it was almost like you was Jesus. Like, you couldn't do anything wrong. Everything was going to fall right for you. You was going to make damn near every play. Yeah. It was like everything was meant for it to happen, So, I'm definitely happy and proud to say that I started that tradition.
Yeah, I agree. When I went back and looked, I'm like, damn, he really did start that.
And we got offensive linemen wearing it now. Will Campbell. And the crazy thing about it, they came up with I guess like a slogan. It's called the impact number. If you rock at number 7, you're an impact player. And that was the first time that I've ever seen. It's so unique to where Will couldn't wear the number 7. No. They made a patch for him.
Oh, okay.
So that's how significant the number 7 now is in LSU history.
Yeah. He wears it at practice, but can't wear it in the game.
So you're
ineligible.
patch.
Yes.
Number
I
7
like
patch.
that though.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's like a little tradition. I like the culture of it.
Yep.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So
How many times do people actually bring up that play between when you were in college with LSU?
Talking about the out of bounds? Which play?
No, not the Alabama out of bounds one. I'm talking about when Cam Newton supposedly ran from you.
Oh, man.
How often do you get this talk about this?
So,
first of all, I was very impressed by Cam.
It was.
Like, I'm not even going to lie. Very impressed by Cam.
It was very impressive.
And you were kind of considered like the fastest guy in college at the time.
I was, but I was actually coming off a block. It was like, first of all, they said he ran me over. I was like, how could he have ran me over when I was diving on this guy, from diving on him from the back? How could he have ran me over? But he did drag me a little bit. I will say that. And, I'm a guy like we all players. We've been in tough meetings before. Like, we got tough skin. It is what it is. We all got before.
No doubt.
Absolutely. But, if you play long enough, you will.
Yeah, exactly. I just took it on the chin. It was a hell of a play by Cam, but it wasn't what everybody made it out to be.
I was always wanting to hear from you because I've seen him play 1,000 times, and I was like, you know what? I can ask Pat about this because this is a play that everybody always talks about.
Yes.
It was Cam's like Heisman moment.
Yeah, that was his Heisman moment. Came down to the fast running back. He broke the play for like 60 yards. Like, Cam Newton was running all over the yard, but they only had 24 points. So they was driving the ball up and down the yard, but we kept getting them off the field on fourth downs.
Yeah.
And that one play, I cannot remember the running back's name, but that joker was fast. I almost ran him down though. But he was a trick play. He was like a trick play guy, but that sucker was rolling down the sideline. That pretty much iced the game. We had no business in being in that game, but we found a way.
Defense keeps you close.
Yeah, man.
Defense keeps you close.
That was having you had the Mad Hatter as your head coach in college.
Indeed. Boy. Eating up grass and stuff.
I'm glad somebody finally admitted that, though, because that was good.
Doing a little bit of research about you for this podcast, come to realize I didn't know Peterson wasn't your. It wasn't. Well, it is your last name.
Yes,
but I didn't know you changed it. It was a Johnson.
Yeah.
Talk
Patrick
about
Johnson.
why you went from Johnson to Peterson.
Man, I don't get asked that question very often, but back when I was born, my parents had me at a very young age. My mom was 18, my dad was 20, and in my mom household, if you're not married, you're not getting the dad's last name. You're gonna get the mom's last name. So my mom's last name is Johnson. So I had Patrick Johnson all the way up into high school, my senior year. But my parents ended up getting married my sophomore year. And I was a very dominant player. And my dad and my parents did not want any conflict coming up. And like, oh, why he's changing his name now? Or it was something that was going to happen that they wanted me to sit out a year if I changed my name. They were just trying their best just to keep me off the football field. So my dad was like, screw it, we're just going to change your name when you go off to LSU. So as soon as I graduated, all the documents, everything was signed.
Yeah.
As soon as I graduated in January, because I graduated school early, I changed my last name to Peterson.
That's cool. And how did your dad receive that?
He thought it was dope because, my dad was a football player.
Mm-hmm.
He played ball, but a heart murmur, kept him short of fulfilling his dreams. So I think it was like, damn, now I get to see, my last name on the back of a jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, he put so much, effort and mold in me as far as my work ethic, as far as how I approached the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I knew that it meant something to him on how much, he dedicated his time to make sure that I was well prepared for the position that I, ended up being in, playing 13 years, going to college and having a pretty healthy college, high school career.
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit more than healthy. But I appreciate the humility today. But I'm going to get you up out that. All right, here we go. So you were a 5-star rated player in high school. So you a little bit more than healthy career. Right. All right. You're ranked one of the top players, if not the top player, especially in your position, coming out of high school. You come into college, you have a dominant college career. You kind of start off this whole LSU DB thing. You came into the league, Pat, you were dominant. You had a great rookie first year. Like Peanut said, your first 8 years, you went to the Pro Bowl. And another little nugget, you're one of only 3 people to do that.
Yep.
All right, in NFL history. It's beautiful. Before the age of 28.
Yep.
That's another little small nugget. So you got in
feather
young.
in the cap.
Yeah,
Right.
you got in young, you balled.
Yep.
And how does it feel to be that dominant?
I believe I always played above my age. Like, for an example, I remember getting kicked off a football team when I was 6 years old when I'm playing with the 7 and 8 year olds. In my first game, I scored 3 times. So when I scored that many touchdowns, and now all with my size, I looked apart like I was, a 7 or 8 year old, although I was 6. So I scored those 3 touchdowns. The league playing the Pompano Tigers. I'll never forget it. The league official comes to our games like, this kid's too old, like, where's his birth certificate? So they pull out the birth certificate, found out I was too young.
And then booted you. For being too young?
Yes.
Schooling everybody.
Yes. Yep.
That's
Found
so
out
embarrassing.
that I was too young, got kicked off the team, then had to come back, the following year and end up, that's kind of like when my football career took off, but just always playing with the older kids. I felt like that was something that I needed to do because I was always light years above, my peers, people that was around my age, and I was always bigger than them. Then when I got to high school, I'm just a ultra competitor, man. Like whatever I do, I want to put my best foot forward. And I had this goal set up even when I was a kid. My mom can tell you this. Like I always had dreams and aspirations that I was going to be in the NFL. It wasn't like, oh, if I make it. It was like, no, when I make it, this is going to happen. This is how I want it to happen. So I'm a guy that loves to manifest things. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that loves to speak things into an existence. So even as a kid, I was in high school. I was like, when I get to high school, I'm going to dominate, do this. When I get to college, it ain't going to fall off. I want to do this. When I get to the league, I want to be remembered forever and be able to have an opportunity to have my name called in football heaven because that's why I play the game. You know what I mean? So that was just always my mindset. It was always something motivating me. I was never satisfied.
Yeah. So with that mindset of just always wanting to be the greatest, when did you get put on your ass? Like, what was that welcome to the NFL moment for you?
Welcome to the NFL moment. I'll have to say you wasn't on the team. It was against Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton rookie year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So I wasn't there as rookie.
Okay, so you came around what?
I got there in 14.
Okay, got it. So boom, my first game, I had 2 welcome to the NFL moments in that game.
Okay.
Didn't they play against y'all his first game?
Yes.
That was his first NFL game.
His first NFL game.
Yeah, he threw for like 400.
Yes.
Something crazy.
That's my first NFL game too.
Welcome to the league.
And guess who I'm going up against? Steve Smith. So leading up into the game, Adrian Wilson, Darnell Dockett, Calais Campbell, all the old heads. It's like, man, because coach.
Y'all have Dansby then too?
No, so Dansby had just left and went to Miami.
Oh, okay.
And then he came back, so I played with Dansby.
Okay.
So all the old heads like, man, listen, man, Steve Smith, man, listen, don't say nothing to him.
True.
Like, just leave him alone.
True statement.
I was like, all right, cool. I mean, I'm a rookie. I'm just still trying to find my way. I don't have much to say anyway. Yeah. All right, let me see how it is. Get in the game. They send me on a corner blitz. I think it was like the first drive of the game. Steve go for 80. But it wasn't on me, but I blitzed. Steve made sure he found me, though, because apparently he knew that I was going to be his assignment. Like, I was following him for the most part. So after that play, he let me hear it. We go down and score. So now they back on the field. And Steve, he loves to block. He do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
The ball on the opposite side of the field. I can't even remember who was the running back. Me and Steve just almost brother-in-law in it, running down the field. And he just chucked me. I'm like, damn, what the hell that's about? He said, yeah, young blood. Welcome to the league. So I was like, so these boys wasn't lying. Like, this dude he's really crazy.
Yeah.
So that was my first welcome to the NFL moment. Then he ended up scoring on me too. And he stepped over me. That was pretty.
So disrespectful.
Yeah. This is all Smitty's. Yeah. This is all in his avenue.
But
so disrespectful.
So then check this out. So that was a touchdown when Smitty scored on me. That was a touchdown that tied the game.
Okay.
So now our offense go down. We get 3 and out. Then we punt the ball off to them to pretty much try to. It's like 7 minutes left. So we punt the ball off to them, and they end up driving a little bit. They get the midfield. We stop them. 6 minutes left in the game. Punt me the ball. I take it back 89 yards for the game-winning touchdown. So I had kind of two welcome to the NFL moments in one game.
I like that.
You know, we talked about that. So your rookie year, defensively, I was just looking at the numbers. You didn't just like dominate numbers-wise, but you did have 4 punt returns for touchdown that year.
Yep.
And so that's what got you kind of boom, boom. Okay, this guy legit is for real, for real.
Yep.
And then your second year, you had 7 interceptions. I'm confused, though. As fast as you are, you've only ran 2 interceptions back for touchdowns?
Yeah.
How?
Because I'm a man-to-man guy, and you got to think about it too, Rome. My interceptions came from majority with my back towards the quarterback. So now when I'm finding the ball, I have to adjust and catch the ball. And the receiver is right there 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And then he's bringing me down to the ground. The most yardage I've ever got off my interceptions is when I was in zone. So when I can see the ball and kind of navigate where I can go then, but majority of my interceptions came in man to where I had to adjust to the quarterback or find the football, and obviously I'm right there with the receiver, so he's bringing me down 9 times out of 10.
That's one stat. I just I just did not. I would have thought it would have been 8.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you get in the zone, but it's mostly punt returns.
Yeah. So that was.
I did not know that.
How many you got?
What?
You got touchdowns? How many you got?
I got 2 as well.
Couple.
Okay.
You got a couple.
I like
Which is crazy. I was like, there's no way I got the same amount as Pat. like, that's really how I got that. I was like, there's no way. When I was like, you got 2? There's no way.
How many punt returns you?
4.
4? Okay.
But you know what's crazy about how you said I had the 4 punt returns my rookie year? I struggled as a defender, though. I won't necessarily say I struggled. I had ebbs and flows as a defender my rookie year. But scoring those touchdowns gave me confidence
that I could still be out here.
Not only that I belong here.
Yeah.
So now let's put it all together. Now I understand how teams want to attack me. Now let's put all my focus in on how to be a better defender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when I was as a punt returner, those were dynamic plays. Like I won games with that. You know what I mean? So I won't necessarily say my focus was, solely on that. But I was having so much fun doing it. I was looking forward to doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So after that year, it gave me confidence. Like, yeah, P, man, you belong. Like, let's do what you really are here to be. And that's one of the best DBs.
What was the tough part about that struggle, though?
Understanding how teams wanted to attack me. Yeah. Understanding the different splits. Because, coming from college, the numbers are, 3 yards away from the sideline. You know what I mean? Now you're in the league. They're 12 yards away from the sideline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So understanding the different splits, understanding the different route combinations now, because like I just said, in college, everything is spread wide open. In the league, it's more condensed. It's more motions. It's more shifts. So you have to have your eyes in the right place. Yeah. It's so much more detail oriented in the league than it was in college. So Adrian Wilson was a guy who helped me tremendous with that on how to study film. Yeah. How to read different formations. And I believe that's what really helped slow the game down for me. And that's how I was, able to take that next step in year 2.
I just love what you're saying because I want our viewers and our listeners to understand that's like real NFL like DB jargon right there. And that's like the evolution for every player where the game truly gets to slow down is where I'm actually seeing the whole game. I'm not just playing a position.
Right.
And then when it gets to that point, you sound like a real pro. And now you're able to teach young guys. And that's how you get 13 years.
Exactly.
Because you're not the same physically, even though you're still Pat P. And we know how fast you are. You'll be faster when you're 45. But you know what I mean? The physical part continues to get us all. And that's how could you maybe talk about that part? Like as you aged, as you grew, even when you got to Pittsburgh, when you were towards the end, like how did you transform yourself inside the classroom as well?
Man, it started young because like I knew if I wanted to play this game, like my goal was always to play 14. I missed it by a year, but my goal was to play 14 years. And with me understanding what comes with that, because I know you're not going to be as athletic that you were when you was 22 years old. There's a stretch to where you're going to be at a peak and you're going to be falling off that cliff pretty soon. So therefore you got to be ahead of the game mentally. And I feel like being able to understand how important film study was at a young age, like you said, that is something that helped me stay in the league as long as I did. Because, man, as I got older, these receivers are getting smaller and faster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then, therefore, I got to be a step ahead of them.
Yeah.
And that's why I was really hard on the younger guys when I was, in Minnesota and Pittsburgh. Like, man, listen, bro, I was in you guys' shoes before. Trust me, you're not going to be running at 4.3 or whatever you ran at the combine. You're not going to be running at 3-4 years from now because the seasons are long. The off seasons are long. The grind is long. So your body is going to dwindle at some point. So therefore, you got to keep between the ears sharp as possible.
Pat, so I want to talk about 2015.
Man.
Okay. I like that. I like that raw emotion.
I already know where you're going with it. Come on, let's talk about it.
I mean, 2015, Arizona Cardinals had a great year.
Yeah.
I mean,
both of you guys was on that team.
Yes, we were. I mean, we won 14 straight.
15
straight.
Mm-hmm.
And we were still having to try and win the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
At 15-0 because you guys were doing so well.
Yeah.
You guys didn't allow us to take any time off.
Right.
I'm like, dude, we should be able to rest.
Right.
And we can't.
That's crazy. I forgot about that. Yes.
I forgot they were right there. Like,
yes.
We still had to play every game.
How did I forget about
just
that?
to lock up first place because Arizona was having such a brilliant year.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Yes.
We were.
Y'all was rolling.
We were, man.
And then all of a sudden, that championship game, what happened? Can maybe what in your eyes, you tell it from your view?
Man, that was congratulations to you guys. You guys kicked our butt that game.
There's no way I thought it was going to be that like that.
Yeah, me either.
I thought it'd been closer.
Yeah, me either. I think
closer.
at that time, going into that game, the injury bug really, really hurt us. Like, missing Tyron was a big piece in our defense. Carson Palmer tearing his the index finger ligament in the divisional round against Green Bay. So he wasn't his best because we leaned on Carson we threw the ball.
You threw the ball.
You know what I mean? We had speed all over the yard. So then once you guys were able to take that away, because we knew in the Steve Wilkes defense, you guys was a quarter system.
Yep.
So we knew that was going to be hard getting the ball down the field.
Correct.
Then you got Luke Kuechly, who's the sheriff of the defense. You can't get nothing over his head.
Nope.
So we knew it was going to be a tough day. But when Carson threw that interception, he tried to throw the ball to John Brown. I said, oh, man, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. And it was. I think he threw 4 interceptions that game.
Like the one he threw right before the half.
Yes.
That was a backbreaker because you guys had went down.
Starting to get a little momentum.
Yeah. And then boom, got that interception right before half.
Yeah, man.
And then after that,
it was just all
downhill. It was all downhill.
Because then it was a Cam Newton show after that.
It was.
It's Cam Newton left, Cam Newton right, Cam Newton up the middle. Superman. But yeah, it was the injuries hurt us going into that game. But we knew it was going to be a battle.
Yeah.
But we thought it would definitely be closer. But you guys did what you were supposed to do.
And then from there, to piggyback, the rest of your years in Arizona after that, because you think you just be able to run it back. We talk about that all the time.
Yep.
But you don't get to take last year's success with you into this year.
Mm-hmm.
You guys didn't have another winning season at Arizona when you were there the rest of the year. How many more years were you there after that season?
5.
Yeah. So the next 5 years, why was that? What was what turned or what was that?
Injuries again. Then Carson retired, then because coming into 2016, he tore his ACL against the Rams.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what I mean? So it was just like we just kept getting hit with the injury bug. Then BA retired.
Yep.
So then we brought in Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, and he was there for Sam Bradford.
Yeah, we had Sam Bradford, who was just coming off a knee injury in Philly.
I remember that.
We drafted
the one from
Josh Rosen.
He was there for a hot second.
Like literally a second.
Yes. Then, Steve didn't have nothing to work with.
Nothing.
You know he got a bad deal.
Well,
he did.
Your guy Steve Keim was out. I know he's not your guy, but Steve Keim was. I'll listen to your podcast. You and D-Mac, it's all good. Right. So Steve Keim got suspended.
Mm-hmm. Then we had that. It was just so much. It was just a domino effect, man.
Yes.
So we just couldn't get it right. Then we got Cliff in there, Cliff had, early success, but we couldn't get over the hump in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Because he came in with Kyler Murray, who is a phenomenal athlete, and he's getting better now with his leadership skills. But now he's a good
film guy. He loves to study film.
Now he has to get over the hump of winning late in the year as well, because the record has shown that he can't win late in the year. I don't know if it's lack of studying film, but something has to change.
You good? Dude, I'm great. I am so great. I love you for that.
I appreciate that.
Because it is in his contract though.
That's
another great point. That is a great point. I forgot about that.
That's a whole different.
And how about the fact that got out?
Story.
Which is bizarre.
That part.
That too, and the fact that his agent allowed them to put that in.
Like, all of that. Like, dude.
That's bad. That's bad. I got one for you. So you said you finished up with 13, you wanted to get 14 in. Mm-hmm. I know you were still in talks with teams and you didn't sound anybody.
Yep.
If a team were to call you next season, would you still play?
Probably not.
Why?
Because, man, I always said that if I don't have the desire to work out, I don't mind working out, but I don't have the desire to work out.
I got you.
And you guys are retired. You guys know how it is. If you don't have the desire and you always want to put your best foot forward, there's no need to put yourself out there.
I always think it's really funny to me on the inside and it's cool. I take it as a great compliment when somebody's like, man, you still you could play. Yeah. I'm like, you know what, man, I appreciate that. Right. But there's no way I'm going out there and tackle or hit nobody. The mentality's not there. Right, exactly. That's what you're saying.
No doubt about it.
The mentality is not there.
Especially being off a whole year.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be 35 this year.
Fans don't think about that, though. I have not played in almost 10 years, and the Bears will have a bad season, or DB will make a bad play or something, and it's can you still play? You're just bro, I'm 40. I'm almost 44. Man, I'm telling you, I think I look good. I appreciate the compliment, but bro, I'm 44. Are you serious? Yeah. No.
You go out there and pull a hamstring.
Yeah, quick. Come on now. Quick. I get you off the bone. I can get you
exactly out of there.
I might be able to get you about 2 series. I think I can get 2 series, and then it's
and
honestly, from there.
You don't even want the first 2 series. You want to get
I want the tired guy.
Exactly. I want to get that 3rd or 4th series.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. So now that you're in the media space like us, and you're TV analyst, you got these podcasts. Where do you see yourself going in the media space right now?
Man, now being in this realm and having the opportunity to do so many different things, man, I really want to have the opportunity to commentate a game. Just because, you hear
radio or TV?
Both.
Okay.
I would love to be, on the television to, show this beautiful face of mine. But I love the fact that you can give raw feedback and give someone some intel, right then and there, right after they saw the action.
Yeah.
For me, I know the game inside and out, but I feel like when I'm at a desk and have to break down points, it'd be so much I want to talk about. Then after my head, be damn, I forgot to say that. Yeah. Or I forgot to say this. Then when I do my radio hits, I feel more fluent with the way that I'm giving the information. I don't feel like I'm leaving anything out, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I went to the game in London. The Bears played Jacksonville. I never called a game ever in life. Never practiced it. Never went to the broadcast boot camp. Never did nothing. So I get asked to do the show or call the game. So I think I called Rome. We talked about it for a little bit. I got some tips from Rome, and I basically did my own little research and kind of taught myself. And I'm practicing the day of the game. It's game time, and the first play, the guy said something, and I was like. And it was like a 2-yard run. Right. It was nothing sexy about the play. And I was just like,
but that's good though.
But I know I could have said other things other than the play. I could have talked about, the season and how they've been going on. But again, I had never practiced it. And then once I finally got going, I wanted to say more because in in radio, you have to be so descriptive because they can't see it. Yes. They can only hear it, right? So I would say little things and I wanted to give more, but he's like, hurry up, give it to me because I got to describe the play. So the one thing I've learned, word management. Like your words have to be intentional and they have to be very specific on what you're saying. And it was, don't get me wrong, I had a good time, I had a good experience. They asked me to do it again. I couldn't just because of, my schedule, but it was definitely something different.
Yeah.
It definitely was something different. So yeah, I hope you get that opportunity. It was fun, don't get me wrong. Had a blast doing it. I
think you'll be great and you'll have fun at it. You're naturally passionate about this game and this sport. Which matters.
No doubt about it.
It has to matter. And I like it because it's going to be a different perspective. All we see a lot of times are offensive minds.
Yes.
Quarterbacks from that side, offensive line. It's always good to have from a defensive perspective. Right now, it's a few of them in that call for Fox, and John Vilma's one of them.
He does a great job.
He's one of the few because that comes from a defensive perspective where we see it from this side of the ball.
Right.
And a lot of times what you don't understand is when you get really good, and I'm sure Pat the same way, when you watch football on TV, we don't watch the ball. We look at the formation, the shift, the motion.
I be looking at the back.
And then all those things tell you where the ball is going to go. And so that's how we naturally see the game. And so to be able to share that experience with people is going to be really, really good. And they'll start doing like when I watch football with my neighbor and he's like, how'd you know that?
How'd you know that?
How'd you know that? Like, I don't need Tony Romo to tell me what's going to happen. Like I kind of got like it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So as a DB, we kind of see it from their point of view as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We see it from the outside looking.
That's our superpower.
And have you had any chances to do any of these things?
I did go to broadcast boot camp in 2022, so I had the opportunity to do all of that. But ever since I left the broadcast boot camp, I had two game reps, just at my house.
Nice.
I had a good friend of mine who, came over and set up some things for me. And I had the opportunity to call a series, the Minnesota versus Chicago Bears Monday night game in Minnesota. So that was cool because I was just doing a lot of it at home, not really feeling the energy, feeling the crowd.
Which is different.
Yeah. So when I was there, doing it on at the actual game, man, I got so juiced up, bro. Just watching the game, calling the game from up there. You just see it from a whole nother perspective. We got fans right here. They getting into the game.
So you feel that. And you got to let the crowd breathe sometimes.
I ain't getting none of that. I got gypped so bad.
Yeah,
I got a raw deal.
It was fun, man.
So
That's
being
cool.
at the game was even more exciting than what you...
No doubt about it.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
For you.
Because, did you go to broadcast boot camp?
I did.
So, at the broad, you're just on the green screen.
Yeah. You're just up there. It's hard. And you're in there for like 3 minutes.
Right. So they was telling me, I was like, man, it's totally different. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, but I want to have an opportunity to experience it.
Yeah.
And then I did. And I was like, it is really different. Because like now when I have an interview with one of these major companies, now I will already have experienced the live energy from the crowd, so I can kind of prep myself and bring that to my audition.
And so why did you feel like all this was so important to start while you were still playing? And because like me, I didn't do any of that till I retired. And Peanut, same way.
Yeah.
I just think a lot more of the younger players, you guys get it more now. That is something outside of what we're just doing right in front of us.
Yeah, man. For me, when I was in high school, I had this teacher named Ms. Novice Johnson. She was an English teacher of mine. And she helped me tremendously, with speeches. Anytime I had to speak in front of someone, she was like, Patrick, like, you really have a nice voice. You're a good looking young man. I think, and she already knew I was going to be in the NFL too.
Yeah, you were a 5-star.
Yeah, we was already having these conversations. She was like, but you're not going to play football forever. You know what I mean? So I would love for you to, continue getting your communication skills up to where when you, do walk away from the game, you can have something else to do for another, 10, 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? So just always having that in the back of my mind when I was going through college.
That was a great seed for her to plant.
Yeah, like just always hearing that and just doing all these interviews, and now I'm starting to hear it from other people. I'm like, well, she must know what she was talking about.
Words matter.
Yeah, so now I'm like, she must know what she was talking about. And then the older I got, I was like, Larry Fitzgerald used to always tell me, man, like, if it is something that you want to do, make sure you scratch the iron while it's hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They always say it's tougher for the retired guys, to get into this business versus trying to, make these relationships while you're still playing.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that. And, if it was something I wanted to really take serious, I knew I had to, start it at some point. You know what I mean? And then I did around year 9. That's when I started to get like real serious about it. And then year 11, that's when I got invited out to the boot camp and just had my podcast now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's just planting that seed now to, when I am, officially called a quits, I can have a lane to walk into.
You and B-Mac, Brian McFadden.
Mm-hmm.
What made you guys start the podcast, and who do you guys try and bring on? It's called the All Things Covered.
Yep.
Is it just the 2 DBs and you guys are talking ball? I see you guys are doing all types of lanes and you guys bring up all types of topics. Yeah, you guys really touch on all of it.
The title of it is literally what we do, all things covered. Okay. We try to cover all things. And the idea came from him. And it actually, I'm happy it came from him because then that started giving me more reps at it, without going through another major, network or anything like that. But COVID came around. I know you guys remember that. Yeah. COVID came around. Everyone had to be inside. He was working with, CBS. He still works with CBS. And he was like, man, I can't go in the building. I can't go to the Connecticut or Florida. Those was the 2 spots he was going in between. He's like, man, let's just start a podcast. I was like, you sure? I was like, I don't really know much about, a podcast or what we have to do on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis, but I guess we could start it. So he ended up getting, CBS behind us to agree to sponsor the show for a couple years, and we did it weekly. So, we had all type of guests on there, from rappers, movie stars, golfers, obviously ball players.
Yeah.
And we just literally just talk about what's going on in the world, talk about basketball, football. We don't really get into the political stuff. That's out of our lane. But everything else, though, we talk about it.
It seemed that way in all the episodes. So
yeah. So besides golfing, besides the media, what other ventures do you have going on right now?
Man, I'm a dance dad.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those, man.
Dude, the commitment is real.
Man, listen.
I got a homie that's a dance dad.
How was your
9 and 5.
Okay.
So me and my wife, we just went on vacation, right? To Hawaii for a week. And my mother-in-law had to, come home and take care of the girls. And mind you, they both don't go to the same place.
Right.
No, why would they do that?
That makes
my mother-in-law, after the first day, she was like, I'm just exhausted. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, y'all be ripping and running these kids all around town. They got school, we got homework, we got dinner. Then we got taken to 2 different dance places. It was like, I don't know how you guys do it, but it's a joy, having the opportunity to be able to expose my girls to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So they can be well-rounded. So my girls are in gymnastics, dance, cheer, ballet, jazz, they swim. Like, they
got to do tap too. They do tap. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Like I literally, whatever they put their minds to, I want them to be able to do it to where when they face a challenge in the real world, they can be well-rounded about whatever situation or whatever challenge they may face in life.
I like that.
I think
you dance dad?
No, we did that early. Dude,
you said that no,
bro. The dance dad is
a commitment.
Next level.
Gymnastics is a commitment.
It is.
Gymnastics 4 hours in the gym.
Yes.
Like, you got to just get used to the grind. Like, that's what they're gonna do every day.
And Saturdays and Sundays are taken.
Yeah. And dance dads are committed differently too, because you got to get used to like traveling, staying in hotels, going places for 5-6 hours for like 3 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. See, none of that.
Texas, Orlando.
It's a different.
I was an AAU dad, basketball. I was an AAU basketball dad, so we had our fair share of traveling. But
but it's fun though, man, because they enjoy it. And like I tell my wife, man, I love the fact of doing it because you guys was here for me. Throughout my kids are 9 now, 9 and 5, but throughout her childhood, they showed up for me on Sundays.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I wanna do the same thing because I missed out on so many things like first day of school. Taking them to school. So like now I take full advantage of that. Mom, I got it. I pick them up, I drop them off, I take them to dance practice, wherever they need to go. That's my responsibility.
Yeah, I like that.
Now,
that's cool.
The real question is, do you keep your clubs in the car with you when you're doing all this driving? Because, and I need to know, how much golf do you actually play?
So the time I do play golf is when they are in school.
Yeah, okay.
So I drop them off and the clubs are in my trunk.
That's what I figured.
So I drop them off. I go get my 18 in.
Yeah.
Grab me a quick bite if I have time.
Yeah.
Then I go right back and wait in the carpool line, pick them up. We'll stop and get some Chick-fil-A or a quick lunch. Take Parker to her dance practice. Peyton doing her homework. Take her to her dance practice. Go pick Parker up. Then go pick Peyton up. She'll start her homework while she's in the car. So by the time she's at least halfway, at least 75% done with the homework. So to where when we get home, because when we get home, it's like 7:15, 7:30.
Yeah.
So now when we get home, you run upstairs, get cleaned up. Come back downstairs, eat dinner, read our books or end up finishing, our homework, and then it's time for bed. Like my kids, they almost was like me when I was in my football schedule. Yeah. I got a bum. Like I think that's just the way of life, and to really mold them into something, very well when they get older.
There's nothing wrong with the schedule, dude. Ain't nothing wrong with the schedule. I love that.
We grew up with them.
That's what I'm saying. That's all we know. It
worked out for us, yeah.
That's all we know.
So having that structure, I think it kind of sets it's like the foundation now.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself being a professional golfer? Is that a goal?
No.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of us athletes, we think we can do something else in all these other sports. But when you watch a real PGA player,
those boys different.
They are way different.
But you got to think too.
They're like a dude on the bench in the NBA.
Yeah.
That we think, oh man, bro, they all way different.
Yep.
Because they've been doing it at a young age. For so long now. They've been doing it.
Yeah, but we can do it for that long, Peanut, and it's just not gonna be the same. I'm telling you, these dudes way different.
I get it. I just think I think y'all could do it. I'm not gonna say me because I don't like golf like that. Trust me, if you played golf by the time you was 7, 8, 12, to like where you at right now, y'all would be 1,000 times better, and I think y'all could be professional golfers. That's just me.
I agree. If we have started at a young age, to build that muscle memory, the flexibility, and because that's where it all comes from. That's why most football players, it's so hard for us to swing to hit a natural draw because we're top heavy.
Yeah,
we've been lifting weights all of our lives. We've been hitting people, moving forward.
Right.
So it's tough for us to get into that slot unless you truly work on it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you 100%. If we started at a young age, we'll be 1,000% way better than what we are now.
Yeah. My last question. Thank you for not interrupting. Your personal Mount Rushmore. 4 people that have had influence, that have helped you, that have molded you into what we see today. On the field, off the field.
Louis Vuitton Don. Right here in front of me.
I got to put my dad on there for sure.
Okay.
Just because everything that he taught me at a young age, everything he instilled in me at a young age, as far as my leadership skills, as far as my work ethic, as far as my mentality, the grind, like he instilled that in me as long as I can remember, since I was like 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
That's one. My grandfather, I got to put both of them up there. So we can split their faces.
We can split their faces.
Just because, like I told you guys earlier, my parents had me at a young age. And I was fortunate enough to have both sets of my grandparents. Only have one of them, one grandfather left now, but I was fortunate to have both sets of my grandparents. So I saw them as my parents.
Yeah.
Because when my mom was waking up going to work, my grandparents was taking me to school. My grandpa was picking me up, and I learned a lot of my life values and the way I treat my wife from my grandfathers. Like the way they ran their household, the way they respect their wives, decisions, respect their own, wanted them to be their own selves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I saw that, I was like, man, I want to be like them. Like I want to be able to treat my wife and my kids, my family, have the same family values as my grandfathers. So I believe, and I've been married going on 13 years now, which is, something that I feel like my grandparents helped instill in me and into my marriage as well. So that's two faces on one. Number 3, I got to go with Prime. Me and Prime have a really close personal relationship. Mm-hmm. I've known Prime since entering the draft. We had tons and tons of conversations. And the reason I put Prime on there is because being a kid from Pompano Beach, Florida, watching him when he was with Dallas and San Fran, like, I wanted to be that.
Right.
Like I wanted to be like Prime because he was not only a defensive back, like he changed the game in every down, first, second, third, and fourth down, because he was a great punt returner as well. So like just seeing that, how he literally transcend the game, like I wanted to be a part of that, or at least come close to that.
Yeah.
And number 4, I would have to go with, and I never met this guy a day in my life, Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Never met him a day in my life, and I've been a fan of that dude since 1997. And I had multiple opportunities to meet him, but with me being a competitor, every opportunity I had to meet him, they lost the game. And my wife she'll beat me up about it to this day. And that's why I named my dog Kobe, by the way. But I got to put Kobe up there because, like I said, I never met him before, but watching him from afar, his mentality, his demeanor, his will to win, his competitive nature, like that is an ultimate competitor. Like just everything that he stood for. Like I wanted to, instill some of those values in my game as well. You know what I mean? So like I said, when he passed, man, I cried. And like I said, I never even met him before. Had opportunities, but never even met him. Ended up buying a dog maybe 6 months later, and I named him Kobe.
Well, you got your Kobe out of it.
I got my Kobe out of it.
All right, Pat, man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for blessing us with your time, bro.
Man, appreciate you guys.
Hopefully we can get on the links one time, man. I didn't know you were in Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah. So anytime I'm around, I'll definitely try and reach out and find you.
Let's do it.
All right, man, for real. I did not know that. But anyway, thank you so much for, tuning in, checking us out as always, wherever you pick up your podcast, whether it's iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for always tuning in. Give us a 5-star rating, a review, leave a comment. Subscribe, like, share, follow, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Do all those things. Peanut, man, get us up out of here, dog.
Don't forget to watch us on our NFL YouTube channel. I got you. You cool. I'm Peanut. That's Rome. That's Pat P. And this is the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. And we out.